Welcome to another episode, everyone. Jasmine Crockett. Well, she was attacked, the congresswoman from Texas, by J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States of America, the Nazi, the white nationalist, the scum bucket. Well, he attacked Jasmine Crockett, called her a street girl, street person, and she responded immediately as she should and attacked him back. We're not going to allow these individuals to attack our people like this. We're going to expose them. Let's get into it.
And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett.
So he's at Turning Point USA right here, as you can see right here. TPUSA, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's home, Charlie Kirk's, organization. The racist organization.
The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Let's start right there. With the way that the vice president speaks about you, the caricature he tried to make of you at this conservative youth conference. I think every black woman heard what he was trying to say there. It's extra laughable in a way because what precedes this moment is him coming out, to an entire pyrotechnic show and rock music and fanfare for him to comment on your flair. But what do you think he's trying to say there?
Well, first of all, he's trying to rile up his base because right now we know that no matter if we're looking in deep red Tennessee, Mississippi, or Georgia, we know that we're swinging no less than 10 points. And unlike what we've had historically in Texas, because I know that you talked about the Texas dream of turning us blue, is that we have a candidate in me who absolutely plans to talk to any and everybody, and that is why they are afraid.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And so what happens when a raccoon-looking, eyeliner-wearing, name-changing, religious-hopping, fake Appalachian from Ohio, who built a career pretending to be someone he's not, decides to attack Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett? Simple. He gets a jump scare from reality. Because the authenticity, substance, and intestinal fortitude of Jasmine Crockett are the very things J.D. Vance's fake-ass brand can't survive.
The fact that he said I have a quote-unquote street girl persona, I'm sorry, but anybody that you talk to knows my credentials. They know that I've gone to school. They know that I'm educated. I never tried to put on some random story about where I came from. But at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I am authentic. And that is actually what they are fearful of, is my authenticity.
Sure are. This woman is mesmerizing. She got my vote. I'm with you, Jasmine. All right? I'm with you. But on a more serious note, J.D. Vance, knock it off. You got a lot of nerve. Everything about you is pseudo, fake. And you want to attack this woman who's just trying to do her job. We're sick of this. These people, man, this MAGA administration, they don't hide anything. We're about to get into it, this Nazi stuff Elon Musk has been talking about on Twitter, on X. I mean, it's bananas. So now he's attacking Jasmine, accusing her of having fake fingernails and being from the street. As you can see, she's responding and saying that this dude is just upset. He's trying to rile up his base because they're on their way out. They're going to get the hell out of the White House.
Authenticity, because it rings true with every single American, whether they're a Texan or not.
J.D. Vance isn't offended. He's exposed as the weak, sniveling opportunist that he really is. And it was on full display at the Turning Point USA debacle this week. Conservative Christian infighting, Freudian slips, and awkward moments reached peak comedy at America Fest. And I mean peak comedy. The kind where you're not sure whether to laugh, cringe, or just stare in disbelief.
it rings true that I am fighting for real everyday people. And instead of talking about policy, when you're talking about the record speaks for itself, baby, let's talk about your record. Because the only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last president killed. Let's talk about qualifications. Let's talk about who has actually been fighting for people way before she ever ran for office.
She didn't say allegedly. That's true. We all know this. Trump tried to have Mike Pence knocked off, taken out, because he believed that Mike Pence had betrayed him when he was ready to leave office, saying that the election had not indeed been stolen, which of course it had not been. He tried to have Mike Pence knocked off. They almost got him during the January 6th attack at the Capitol. They nearly got Mike Pence. They were yelling off with his head. They were looking for him. Trump supporters. So yeah, we know why J.D. Vance is there, because Mike Pence is not. Knock it off, man. These people are cutthroat and corrupt. They'll take you out.
Whether it was in the courtroom or it was in the streets, making sure those that were out there wanting to exercise their constitutional right to come together and protest injustices. I was representing pro bono people that were getting arrested as they were out in the streets. So listen, I don't have time for him and their games. They are scared and they should be scared. I need Texans to focus in.
Through all of that noise, J.D. Vance still stood up there on that stage, looking like Uncle Baby Billy on the set of Bible Bonkers, bopping in the name of the Lord, already reveling in the idea that he's going to be the next president of the United States. But folks, let's be...
Okay, so this is Rebel HQ right here. This is the channel Rebel HQ. I like him already. Yeah, I like the ones that let him have it. Give it to him, baby. Don't let them off the hook. These people are venal.
Clear. This isn't going to be by popular choice. Think about it. Elon's already out here saying it's going to be JD for the next 8 years. They're circling the wagons, the anti-science, racist, BS-filled wagons. They're telling the American people, we've got Elon, we've got Turning Point. You're going to have Erica Kirk as your first lady, and you don't have to be scared about being white and Christian anymore. Merry Christmas, everybody, because that is starting to look a lot like basically democracy or less, or a lot more people like a damn sitcom taking over the White House. And that's the part people really need to understand about this whole glitzed out, pyrotechnic, hallelujah, holy roller vibe at Turning Point. Because while J.D. Vance is up there playing preacher, playing savior, playing the future, an entire point of that performance is deception. It's not about faith. It's not about the values. It's not about democracy. It's about subverting the voice of reason, drowning out the truth, and convincing people to believe a lie, just long enough to open their wallets and aim their anger at somebody else. You know, it's that old LBJ quote playing out in real time. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. That's the grift. And Jasmine Crockett, she sees it instantly.
Here's a hot take. If you have a message inside you that people are meant to hear,
Jasmine
it'll never
Crockett.
make the impact that it truly deserves until...
supposed to get them.
Listen, I'm staying focused. I'm not going to be distracted. And when they can tell me...
But you still playing these ads. You're taking my fucking money. And then struck my other channel. Y'all do know I have another... Well, I ain't going to get into that on this channel. Okay, yeah. That's been the grift the whole time. That's been the play the whole time. To have poor whites believing that they're better than black people, to have someone to look down upon, to keep them in the system. But white supremacy has never cared about them either. It does not include them.
About their policies that are helping Texans, then we can have a conversation. Until then, take whatever shots you want to take at me, because I have been a black woman my entire life. I promise you, there are other people just like J.D. Vance who have tried to do the same racist tropes my entire life, and somehow I ascended and became a U.S. Congresswoman. It will not be different when I become a U.S. Senator, and we can have a conversation when I get to the Senate floor if he wants to talk.
She says exactly what's happening. She says J.D. Vance isn't trying to have a serious conversation. He's trying to rile up his base because they're losing ground, even in places they thought were untouchable, even in deep red states. And then she takes the insult apart. She says anybody who knows her credentials. They know she went to school. They know she's educated. They know her record. She never invented some fake origin story. She never pretended to be something she wasn't. I am who I am, she says. I am authentic. Yeah. And that authenticity, that's what they're afraid of, because that kind of authenticity resonates with everyday people who are struggling. The working mom, families being torn apart, Texans and non-Texans alike. It resonates.
They are definitely afraid of Jasmine Crockett. They feel like she has the power to come into power. They believe that she has a strong enough following and that it's only getting stronger, and that her influence is growing, and that if that were to come to reality, to come to fruition, her and her influence, then they'll be on their way out. So they're doing everything to circumvent that and to try to cut her down, to disrespect her, disregard her. And they got Stephen A. Smith, their puppet, out here doing their nasty work.
Americans who want someone fighting for people, not playing some name-changing, religion-hopping character. And that's why the attacks go where do they go? Because when you don't have policy, when you don't have accomplishments, when you don't have a real record, all you have left is ridicule. So they mock her appearance. They mock her nails. They mock her lashes because they can't touch her substance. And then she says it out loud. The only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last vice president killed.
Yep.
She's right. Remember the chants? Hang Mike Pence?
Yeah.
That's the resume. That's the qualification. That's not about nails. That's not about lashes, even though JD seems to be sporting eyeliner.
And her nails and lashes are just fine.
Most days.
Stop
That's
hating.
how power works in Trump world. The contrast could.
Your wife can never look nothing like Jasmine Crockett. I've never seen her. I don't have to. I know she can never have that sort of flavor and that sort of style, that sort of beauty. Stop hating, J.D. Vance, you Nazi.
Be clear. She chose substance. They chose spectacle. And that's why you're seeing those old warning clips circulating again and again on social media. Ernest Borgnine talking about fascism, talking about what it actually means to be a real American, because people can feel it. They may not always have the words for it, but they can feel it. And they're trying to point it out for everybody else to see. And all this noise, all this spectacle.
If you're with MAGA, you're a racist fascist. Understand that. I don't care what you say. That's what you are.
All of this WWE-style grieving, widow, pyrotechnic, fireworks, couch-humping, Freudian slip circus. It's the proverbial red herring that Mike Johnson was always bellyaching about. This is the distraction. But what's really happening is that Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie are openly talking about impeaching Pam Bondi for refusing to comply with the Epstein Transparency Act. Even Bill Clinton came out and said, hey, if you got something to say about me, put it all on the table. That's what transparency actually looks like. Instead of transparency and accountability, all we're getting from this administration is Donald Trump hurling low IQ insults and J.D. Vance, couch humper Vance, resorting to character attacks, calling Jasmine Crockett a street girl, mocking her eyelashes.
Trump knows nothing about transparency. This administration knows nothing about transparency. All right, that's Rebel HQ. That said, Jasmine Crockett responding to the Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance, who instead of exhibiting leadership and supporting anyone in Congress as a patriot is supposed to do, that is a politician and holds the second highest seat in office in the country, he comes out and attacks her, taking his cue from Trump, who attacks everyone. We're going to call him out and expose him. Good job, Jasmine. Stay safe, stay free, and power to the people.